Okay, class, quiet down. We're about to start today's lesson. Today marks 1 century since one of the most memorable decades in history. The 1980s were filled with the fall of the Berlin Wall, Cabbage Patch Kids, and the attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan. This decade was also very good for women. In 1981, President Reagan appointed Sandra Day O'Connor to be the first woman on the U.S. Supreme Court. This is an era where women felt more empowered than ever before. We will be having a visitor from the 1980s come here today from the past to talk to us about her U.S. culture. Her name is Denise Worthy.
Hello, future scholars. My name is Denise Worthy. I'm a 20-year-old junior at UCLA studying law. I received a partial scholarship for tuition and work as a secretary at a law office. I see a lot of women in this room today. Back in the 80s, women were just in about every college across the U.S. Women almost held just about every career position possible, except the presidency. We women in the 1980s moved up to more professional and managerial jobs in the last years of the 80s. Also, around this time, women were working just as hard as men, so the women were very independent. Women gained marital liberation at this time, so they were free to marry and divorce whoever they want.
But what about the family structure? Wasn't this around the time of Keeping Up with the Joneses?
Yes, and around this time, it was a custom to try and keep up with your friends or neighbors. Many families consisted of 2 children, and maybe sometimes a family pet, such as a dog or a cat. However, the census showed that fewer people were getting married than in the past. Still, this was the traditional family structure.
Denise, if you will, can you please explain to the class both the positive and negative stereotypes women face at this time?
During this time, women were portrayed as sexual objects, and the women who tried to use sex as an empowerment tool were seen as whores. This was extremely taboo for a woman in the 1980s compared to the previous decades. It was seen as a double standard. Anorexia was also big at this time, especially after singer Karen Carpenter died in the mid-80s due to anorexia nervosa. Models that were portrayed in the media were extremely underweight. Society and the news media portrayed the anorexic look as beautiful, and women tried to be like the women they saw on TV. It is ironic how a woman's beauty was seen by how she looked, but this did not stop them from being high achievers.
Well, with all these negative stereotypes, were there any positive women that uplifted any other women?
Actually, yes. Women such as Michelle Pfeiffer, Janet Jackson, and Madonna empowered the generation. Queen Latifah was also a major influence to promote positive stereotypes of women. Her song, Unity, made women feel more powerful than before. She even started promoting gay rights for women. Cyndi Lauper made the song, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, which showed the freedom and fun women could enjoy.
What was an average woman like in the 1980s?
An average woman in the 80s wore oversized tops, stretch pants, and hoop earrings. A successful woman would be seen as independent and self-reliable in the 1980s. A woman that left the house and was out on her own at an early age, such as 18, was considered a confident woman.
Were there any issues with pregnancy? Were women able to take any medication to stop pregnancy?
Birth control was very popular around that time. About 10.7 million were on the pill, which made women more active in the work field instead of procreating at home.
Okay, class, I think that's enough questions for today. If anyone has any other questions, they are free to ask Denise after class. Okay, students, have a good day.